Welcome back everyone, I'm Lord Ridiculous and today I'm doing a quick review on High Hell. High Hell is pretty much an arcade action game from a first person perspective, and it's brought to you by those kinky fellows over at Devolver Digital. You know, those guys who brought you Hotline Miami, Shadow Warrior, Strafe, Broforce, Enter the Gungeon, the Talos Principle, check out my review of that, and other amazing games. Also, they brought you Heavy Bullets, which is a dungeon crawler game with a nice niche kind of gameplay mechanic where you basically can pick up your bullets after you shoot people, and you also, if you buy the game now, buy High Hell that is now, you get Heavy Bullets with it, which I think is a great deal. Now, this is the part of the video where I usually tell you what High Hell is. It's an overview. I'm not sure what High Hell is. Beyond it being an arcade first-person shooter, it's a strange game. You start off as an unnamed female protagonist. You have one gun. Now you better cherish this gun because it's the only gun you're gonna have. You kick down doors and you shoot henchmen, unnamed henchmen. You're not really sure why you're doing this, but you start off each level with pretty much one objective, and that objective could be to pick up Doberman dogs, it could be to pick up monkeys, it could be to destroy statues, it could be to destroy paintings. But pretty much all you have to do is just shoot through the levels and do the objectives. Once you have the secondary or the main objective done, I think actually you need to do both, you basically get a prompt on screen to jump off the building where you parachute away, and that's the level done. Why I'm a bit confused by this game is because I think it is aimed specifically towards speedrunners. As you can see, there are only 20 levels in the game, and they range from taking 30 seconds to, I think I took 4.5 minutes on one, but the rest are somewhere in between a minute and a half and 3 minutes, which is pretty quick. Yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. Now don't get me wrong, the game looks pretty nice. It's got a neat little aesthetic where you kind of feel like you're in an R Rated Simpsons game where you run around just shooting everything. When you finish these levels, you are greeted with an end screen that tells you the points, the amount of kills, the objectives completed, and also your time. And I've heard that people are actually, encouraged to replay the game to get better times, with a record already being set at something like 15 minutes or maybe even less, 11 minutes, I can't remember, but it was definitely within 20 minutes of the game, and I think that's absolutely insane. But that's pretty much the only kind of hook to go back and replay the game. After you're finished your 20 levels, that's it. There's no other harder difficulty, there's no other kind of bonus levels yet anyway, unless they bring out DLC, but I think that's the point of the game. It's meant to be arcade feeling. It's meant to pretty much just propel you to go back and say, yeah, I'm challenging myself, I am going to beat this in a shorter time, which is unique to me anyway. I haven't come across a game like this yet. The game's aesthetic is vivid. They have fat shapes everywhere. There is a distinctive style to this game that pretty much nearly makes your eyes bleed when you look at it, and also with the over exaggerated physics and I guess in your face enemies who charge at you with abandon. It's interesting, yet sometimes it almost irritates you. And I don't really understand how I could feel that way about a game without it being overly difficult, but yeah, like little things started to irritate me about the game. Why are these enemies running at me like lunatics? And then I understood why. It's all to build the intensity. This whole game is like an hour long rush when you take ecstasy. Not that I ever have, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like, yeah, it left me breathless. The gameplay in High Hell is the most deconstructed shooting mechanic I have ever seen. Basically, you start off with one weapon, one gun. There is no reloading. Your alternate fire or right click button on your mouse is essentially just a zoom function. You have a certain amount of health. You can only take a few hits, and when you get low, you'll see in the bottom left hand corner a little battery icon going red. When you shoot, you get a little bit of the energy for the battery back, which is your health. You can pick up some battery packs around the area. You'll see on the back of your protagonist, your character, you'll see a battery pack. I'm assuming that's what recharges your health once you find battery packs or shoot people. Essentially that's it. The game seems to be built around speedrunning to get around the level as quickly as you can. Now the shooting feels, I'll say, okay. I'm a traditional, I guess, shooting FPS shooter kind of guy. I thought the hitboxes felt slightly strange. I don't know if they're off or if it's just me, but because you're shooting a bullet which is a large projectile, you can see it when it hits. It's like nearly a fireball, a mini fireball. It just didn't feel 100% comfortable or right. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but you're essentially meant to be very accurate. You do not hit 100% on the money, and yeah, you're not going to get a kill or stagger the enemy whatsoever. And some enemies rush you, so you need to be accurate and you need to be quick, and that's where the intensity comes in. So, as I said at the start of the video, you go around the level shooting as many guys as you can, whilst also picking up secondary items or destroying items, and then you effectively just parachute off or base jump off the side of the building. You do this 20 times and Bob's your uncle, that's your game. But there are little nuances to it. For instance, the boss battles are quite fun. The first couple are quite simple. They range from just shooting some big mad boss character who has a kind of a laser eyeball, and then once he kind of staggers, you destroy his backpack, to essentially the end boss where, let's just say, he has an eye for detail, where you have to hit 2 targets in quick succession to unlock 3 further targets that you need to shoot before the boss ends. It's neat, and other bosses basically use traps and kind of obstacles to make you kind of move around, whilst also, they're firing pretty much a lot of projectiles at you. It's good, but what kind of limits it for me is the movement feels very slow. I know in a kind of like a quick shooting game, it's strange to hear that, but it is. You move around, you meander around, and it's mostly your trigger finger that's doing most of the speed work here, which is fun, and it's a challenge at times, and it is quite intense, as I've said a couple of times. But I don't know, for me it was a bit disorientating. You're shooting very quickly, yet you're walking quite slowly. You can jump over things and you can kick items as well, but yeah, for me it felt a little bit odd. In saying all that, it is very obvious that this game is directed towards completing the game as quickly as possible, and that challenge is there. I wanted to, at the end, kind of just replay the first few levels just to see how I had progressed, and I will tell you, I'd cut 20 seconds off the first level, 30 seconds off the second, and then if it went on like that. You will improve, and you will improve rapidly, and that is very satisfying. In conclusion, High Hell is not a game that I think everyone will like. It is a strange game that seems to be built from the ground up to hark back to the old arcade games, wanting you to take it by the bullhorns and literally just finish it as quick as possible. It doesn't want you to get longevity, it wants you to finish it as quick as possible, and it takes this kind of challenge seriously. Like, they want you to use mouse and keyboard. There is no gamepad support here. No auto aim assist or whatever. This is you, the level and the objective, and do it in a quick time or else do it again. It's clinical and it's ruthless, but that is essentially what the game is. Now for me, I didn't think I'd recommend this game, and I'm still not sure if I should. It's 20 levels long. It took me just over an hour, but they say that an average gamer will take 2 hours to complete it at the start, and then they progress down. They believe that at the very end, if you keep playing this game, you could get it down to, as I said before, less than 20 minutes, which to me, I don't know, should you be banking on that as your replayability factor? I personally wouldn't. The thing that would lead me to recommend is that this game is relatively cheap. Unlike the game I reviewed recently, Overgrowth, which actually went down to $20 the day after I reviewed, which I still don't think it's worth, by the way, but this game is $8.99. And also, if you buy now, you get Heavy Bullets included, which is a good game in its own right. So I'll leave it up to you. I've shown you the game, I've told you the ins and outs of the game, I've told you what I think are its good points and its bad points. I personally, if I liked this kind of genre, if I liked a challenging game, and if I liked a unique aesthetic, I think I'd pick it up for $9, and then whatever replayability I got out of it would be, I guess, a bonus. But yeah, that's my verdict anyway. I'll leave it up to you. Talk about sitting on the fence. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've learned something or you picked up something you didn't know already, please hit the like button. If not,
just please leave the video without leaving a shitty comment. Simple as that. Anyway, I've been Lord Ridiculous, you've been awesome. Until next time, my friends.